Hello, and welcome to Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Daniel Pineda. We have a great program this week. We have our news stories, community bulletin board, and 55 plus news. But first, a social media reminder. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/ArlingtonWeeklyNews and the number 1. Also on Facebook and WERA 96.7 FM. And now on to our first news story for this week. As of Saturday morning, December 4th, reports show the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Arlington increased by 193 for the week, up to 19,673. We at Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News will continue to monitor the situation as the cooler months continue. As for vaccinations, as of December 4th, 223,292 Arlingtonians have received at least one dose of the COVID vaccine. The number having received 2 doses was 198,252. Based upon our best estimate of Arlington's population over the age of 5, the percentage of 226,700 eligible Arlingtonians who are at least partially vaccinated is now 98.4%. However the percentages look, it appears that more than 3,400 eligible Arlingtonians over the age of 5 remain completely unvaccinated. If that number seems small to you, imagine sharing an elevator with them. Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for 5 through 11-year-olds is still available at the following locations: Arlington Mill Community Center, located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street, and Walter Reed Community Center, located at 2909 16th Street South. Walk-ins for 5 through 11-year-olds are available Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 6:45 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. And now on to our next news story for this week. As part of our regular email news feed from Arlington, we received the following message, which I will read verbatim. Notice is hereby given that County Board of Arlington County, Virginia, on Tuesday, December 7th, 2021 at 3 p.m. or as soon thereafter as matters may be heard, will hold a meeting at 2100 Clarendon Boulevard, Suite 307, Arlington, Virginia, 22201, to convene in a closed session for the purpose authorized by law. The convocation and certification of the closed session is open to the public. The closed meeting itself is not open to the public. Questions? Contact the County Board office at 703-228-3130 or by email at countyboard@arlingtonva.us. Kendra Jacobs, clerk to the County Board. That was the exact message we received. As for the purpose and agenda of the session, there was no disclosure. This is apparently the county's idea of transparency. The big news from the County Parks Department is that the Arlington County Fair will be returning to Thomas Jefferson Community Center and grounds in 2022. The fair has been held at Thomas Jefferson's Fields and Community Center space at 3501 2nd Street South for 45 years. The Arlington County Fair Board has contemplated a change of the events for more than a year. However, it became evident a majority of folks did not support relocating the fair, and upon further consideration, board members decided Thomas Jefferson was still the best location. According to Laura Berrigan, a Department of Parks and Recreation Special Events Manager and spokeswoman, the 2022 Arlington County Fair will be held at Thomas Jefferson Community Center and Park. Contributing factors for the site selection include that the community has enjoyed the fair at TJ for 45 years, and that 60% of the nearly 1,600 respondents of the site location public engagement prefer keeping the fair at TJ. Further review of the Long Bridge Park location indicated that it would not be able to accommodate the number and variety of rides the County Fair Board desires. It is not yet known whether or not the fair will remain at TJ beyond 2022. Arlington County had considered multiple sites, including Long Bridge, Virginia Highlands Park near Crystal City, and Quincy Park near Ballston, but the board only expressed interest in Long Bridge. A project is now underway to replace the upper field at the TJ site with artificial turf. The field is expected to remain closed until the summer of 2022, but should reopen in time for the fair's return. Here's a recent quote from Arlington Department of Parks and Recreation spokeswoman Martha Holland. This beautiful natural area needs a name that fits its unique space. Ms. Holland was referring to the wetlands area commonly known as the Ballston Beaver Pond. Accordingly, the county plans to ask the community next year for name ideas and provide an opportunity to comment on a list of potential names. The final renaming might occur around July of 2023, when a newly begun renovation project is expected to reach completion. The project will reportedly improve stormwater retention and the wildlife habitat for restoring native plant species and adding what is described as habitat features. It will also include a new observation platform with educational signage, seating, and a reconstructed trail with bike racks. A major reason for the renaming is the fact that the plan is to eliminate the presence of beavers at the site. Beaver baffles will be installed to discourage the animals from returning and damming the pond. The first phase will be the removal of sediment from one half of the pond while removing invasive plants and regrading the land. Later, the second half of the pond will receive the same treatment, and construction will begin on a new observation platform, trail upgrades, native species planting, and the new habitat features, which will include basking stations for turtles. With all of the human-based modifications described, the description of the result as a natural area is subject to question. Over the past century, Arlington has been gradually changing their real natural areas into properties and parks. The project will require a detour for walkers, runners, and cyclists from the previous trail along the south side of the pond to an alternate route along the pond's west and north sides in order to reach Washington Boulevard. It will add about 1/8 of a mile to the trip. As for the beavers, they are originally native to the area, although they had been trapped to near extinction in the early 1900s. Prehistoric beavers are believed by some to have existed in what is now Arlington before humans appeared. It seems a pity that a portion of the pond will not be set aside for a dedicated beaver habitat. And now on to our last news story for this week. On a more positive note, resurfacing appears to be complete on the Bluemont Connector Trail that runs from Ballston area near Fairfax Drive to the Washington and Old Dominion Trail at Bluemont Park. The new surface removes some tripping hazards resulting from previous repairs. Crews were observed meticulously measuring and restripping the dividing line along the trail so that now it is a smooth, safe path for walking, running, or biking. Well, that does it for the news for this week. Now on to our community bulletin board stories.
Hi, and welcome to CBB. Just in time for the holidays, Cinderella has joined the family series repertoire of the Cinetic Theater. This time, Cinderella is stepping into her own shoes. Led by an all-female team of Cineticons, this innovative take on the classic fairy tale is a perfect fit for audiences of all ages. This production of Cinderella is adapted and directed by Maria Simpkins. I know I keep saying it, but the show is still running. Performances start at 7 o'clock p.m. and will run through December 26th at Cinetic Theater, 1800 South Bell Street. Tickets can be obtained through Cinetic Theater's ticketing site or by calling their box office at 703-824-8060, extension 117. All guests over the age of 12 must provide proof of vaccination or a negative PCR test along with their ID prior to entry. Now, IDs are not required for minors accompanied by an adult. Children under the age of 12 are not required to provide proof of vaccination or a negative test, but masks are required at all times. Our next CBB event is for families. Get ready to go wild with the continuing series of Wild Virginia programs. Each program will focus on specific groups of wildlife that live right here in Virginia. Once you register, they will email you a link to Microsoft Teams before the program start time, and they ask that you please have your device ready to go prior to the start of the program. For information, call 703-228-6535. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's on Thursday, December 16th, which is Beethoven's birthday, from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. This is a virtual event. Next up, here's another event for families. It's called Flying Squirrel Lore. Flying squirrels are found throughout the wooded neighborhoods of Arlington, but are seldom seen. Join up to learn about and see wild flying squirrels during an outdoor presentation. Make sure you dress for the weather because it can become very cold. You will need to register children and adults because children must be accompanied by a registered adult. For information, call 703-228-6535. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's on Friday, December 17th from 5:30 to 6 o'clock p.m. at Long Branch Nature Center, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Now this next message is for parents. Do you want to have a night out without the kids? The TMAD Club, which is short for Teens Making a Difference, is hosting Parents' Night Out, where you can drop off your kids from the ages of 4 to 10 for an evening of fun and games. The event series runs once a month on Fridays all the way through next May. This is also a chance to support high school youth while they gain skills and your child enjoys an evening of games, art, and fun. There is a cost for this event, $25. I don't know if that's per child or per family, but for information you can call Desi Jerry at 703-228-7781. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's on Friday, December 17th from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock p.m. at Lubber Run Community Center, 300 North Park Drive. Our next event is for kids aged 5 to 8. You only need to register the children, but caretakers must stay with their child during the program. This time it's all about hibernal habits. For example, who snoozes through the winter months? Join up to meet and learn about animals that hibernate to survive the cold. You'll also get to make a cozy craft to take home that will help to stay warm. This program will be held outdoors. For information, call 703-228-3403. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's on Saturday, December 18th from 1:30 to 3 o'clock p.m. at Gulf Branch Nature Center, 3608 North Military Road. Our last CBB event is for kids aged 6 to 10. As the days get shorter and colder, the animals living in Glen Carlin Park are getting ready for winter. The kids will take a walk through various habitats to learn about what different species do to survive the winter, like sleep, fly away, or just go out in the cold. For information, call 703-228-6535. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. That's on Saturday, December 18th from 2 o'clock to 3:30 p.m. at Long Branch Nature Center, 625 South Carlin Springs Road. And now it's time for 55 Plus News.
Howdy, and welcome to 55 Plus News. For starters, here's another chance to join a morning walk with the Fast Forwards. They're a faster-paced group that walks a 2 to 5 mile loop, including some hills. Walks are held on the second, third, and last Fridays of each month. Transportation is not provided. They typically meet in front of Aurora Hills 55 Plus Center, but occasionally they meet at other locations and may use Metro. Now, this is a drop-in event, so there's no activity number, but you should call 703-228-4747 to make sure the meetup location. This one's on Friday, December 17th from 9 o'clock to 10:30 a.m., probably at Aurora Hills Community Center, 735 18th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, we got a chance to learn how to keep your house plants healthy through the winter and into the spring and summer. Virginia Cooperative Extension Master Gardeners will answer your questions about plant selection, lighting, watering, pest management, and I don't mean your kid brother, and some cultural practices that will help you with maintenance of your indoor plants. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. The activity number is 912-401-03. And that's on Monday, December 20th from 1 o'clock to 2:30 p.m. You gotta be 55 and up. 55 plus membership is required, and this is a virtual event. Our next event is called DIY Holiday Ornaments. DIY means do it yourself, but you're going to get some help. You can join Rosalind De Los Reyes with DPR's Community Arts team to create festive holiday ornaments. You can register online or call 703-228-4747. The activity number is 912-310-04. That's on Friday, December 17th from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Aurora Hills Community Center, 735 18th Street South. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, we got something called personal safety. This is all about how to reduce the chances of becoming a victim of crime, either at home, on the street, or at work. Also, the importance of staying alert and tuned in to your surroundings. Heather Herlock, Arlington County Public Safety Officer, will share tips to ensure your safety. Register online or call 703-228-4747. The activity number is 912-400-17, and that's on Friday, December 17th from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Arlington Mill Community Center, 909 South Dinwiddie Street. You gotta be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Now, this next event is easy to describe. It's called Holiday Sing-Along with Carl Gold. And all you gotta do is lift your voice and your spirit with Carl Gold during this holiday sing-along that offers fun, cheer, and a whole lot of music for all. Activity number is 912-890-03. That's on Friday, December 17th from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at Lover Run Park, which is at North Columbus and 2nd Streets. You got to be 55 and up, and 55 plus membership is required. Next up, it's short story reading and discussion. Short stories pack a lot in just a few pages. Here's a chance to take turns reading the story aloud in round-robin fashion, and then discuss it afterwards. A short film version of the story may also be screened to enhance the discussion. It's facilitated by 55 plus member Bill Turner. In December, they will read Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. I'll bet they show a clip from O. Henry's Full House, but I'm not sure. You know how you can find out? Register online or call 703-228-4747. The activity number is 912-300-08. That's on Monday, December 20th from 1 o'clock to 2:30 p.m., and this is a virtual event. Anyway, that's all I got for 55 Plus News.
On Saturday, December 4th, there was a bazaar of sorts at the recently renamed Washington Liberty High School. In deference to the continuing coronavirus threat, the event was moved outdoors. In deference to the uncertain weather of the season, the location itself was the lower levels of the covered parking garage where the Civitan community yard sales were held. The individual displays were spaced more widely to allow for social distancing, which spread them across most of the available underground space. Along with the usual high school clubs and groups, a number of businesses appeared to be participating. This might prove to be a practical approach for future events, since the school could charge a business a fee for rental space, and the business would receive the benefit of additional public exposure when the Civitan sales are not being held. I came to take photographs and report in the early afternoon, and I noted the apparent absence of any live musical performances by either the band, the orchestra, or the choir. This may have been due to the high volume of traffic noise that the garage receives from Interstate 66. It may also be that some of the groups had performed earlier. For example, the Madrigals group had been advertised as being there to perform Christmas carols. Among the participants and attendees, there was a mixture of masked and unmasked individuals, since the event had been advertised as being outdoors. Attendance seemed to be lower than at the indoor events, but most of the vendors did have at least a few customers. On a separate but related note, I have a bit of commentary concerning the newly reported Omicron variant of the coronavirus. The speculation that this latest version may produce milder symptoms should not be interpreted as a sign that precautions can be relaxed. The fact that an Omicron-infected individual may be at a reduced risk of hospitalization or death fails to take into account an important aspect of the virus, namely that with each new infection, a further mutation is possible. Even if Omicron itself proves to be less dangerous, its successor could be much worse. Wise Arlingtonians would do well to remain vigilant.
Hi, this is Rich Masabny with the Arlington Weekly News. Oh, Georgie Jessel, that was another case. I'm going to tell because my wife Judy just brought up about Georgie Jessel. I wasn't going to mention that, but I will. Georgie Jessel, of course, he was big as they come. Now, he knew I had a female with me to interview him. I mean, to introduce and all, but I was the main one with him. And when I knocked on that door, and he was expecting me, he opened the door. He had a silk bathrobe. Get this now, hope nobody gets offended. It was open. So you couldn't help but look down and see what was going on. And so I said to him, Mr. Jessel, please, I said, I have this young, like a girl was young. She might have been 20 or something. And could you cover up or something? Well, he reluctantly, I remember it was like yesterday, he reluctantly covered up. But what he did is he sat on a chair like this and would fold his leg over or something, but it didn't always cover everything. And somebody said to me, now I don't remember who it was, but somebody said to me when I was interviewing him, I was always looking down at his crotch. And maybe I was so scared that he would truly open up and I don't know where we'd end up, you know, maybe New York or something. But anyway, that was experience. And now let's go back to the news desk.
And that concludes this week's show. We will be back next week with more news from Arlington. Meanwhile, be careful, be safe, and be well.